All right, so here we are at the end of July, right? Almost. Got another week of July. This will come out, be the last week of July.
And it's spooky season. Yay!
And then it's spooky season. We get to hear all about busch gardens and
my obsession,
screams and all the things. So how's things looking here towards the end of summer?
I actually think we're in a weird part. I think I do have a theory that summer gets weird every year. Like things are selling, people are buying, we're still doing all this stuff, but I do feel like it's a little bit weird out in the streets. Like there's like a weird energy out there, if I had to say. I feel like agents are a little fussy. I think everybody wants to be on vacation and isn't. And yeah, it's a little strange. Rates are being weird. Like, it's just kind of weird in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's funny. I've seen a lot of posts in some mastermind groups complaining about agents not knowing what they're doing, creating headaches. But that's also that's just a cycle.
Yeah.
That's every year somebody posts something about new agents, or agents don't know anything about what they're doing, creating problems. I don't know why they think it's any different. I mean, it's the same in any industry when there's, especially with high turnover, a lot of new people coming and going. You have a lot of that. I talked to a lender yesterday, and he said July was slower than June for him. He said June was a good month.
June was crazy.
Yeah, he said July
we did a lot in June.
A lot slower. That was just one lender. Because I talk to a lot of agents. A lot of agents say that they're slow right now, but there's also 7,000 agents out there looking for business
here locally.
Yeah,
and I think July. It's like once you have the 4th of July and people are doing all their vacations and all of that.
And I say that just because we're busy. We've been busy, right?
Yeah.
We've been filling up the schedule, so we can't really asking an agent if they're busy or slow in a vacuum just doesn't tell us anything, right? Because there's so many agents and whatnot. You got to talk to the agents who really have the pulse on what's going on, right? And seeing numbers and all that. So lenders for us is honestly a better indicator of where the market is.
For sure.
Based on their loans and processing and all that stuff. So we'll see. If lenders are slow in July, then we could be slow in August because it's a trailing indicator. We are.
Yeah.
We get as busy as June is, and that bleeds over to July. If July's slow for them, then it bleeds over to August for us.
Yeah, I think we did 86 in June, and I don't know where we're going to end for July, but it was pretty, June was crazy. July has definitely slowed down, but I don't know if that's the same for everyone.
Like I said, for us, it's been fine. I think our numbers are going to be good.
Yeah.
Right where they're supposed to be, going by previous year's trends and whatnot. Doing more inspections than we've done, year over year, month over month.
Good deal.
Comparatively. So we'll see a dip in July, but that's because we see a dip in every July. But the volume's still there. So relative to what we did in June, if all that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with that being said, as things may or may not be slowing down, we'll see. This is where, and we've talked before that there's been some areas of the country that shift to a buyer's market. The rumor is that Florida as a state has shifted to a buyer's market, that homes are setting and things like that. And who knows if that'll happen here, but even if it's not a true buyer's market, a slowdown means, now you really have to negotiate.
Yeah.
So, and you hear people talk about how different the market is since COVID. And one thing I've learned, at least for us, is every year is different than the previous year for whatever reason. So there's no real status quo or normal anymore. It's different every year. And it depends on who you talk to, depends on how they feel the market is going. We've heard people say last year was the slowest it's ever been. I've heard the year before that was the slowest it's ever been. I've heard this year's the slowest it's ever been. So it all just depends on who you talk to and their pipelines and all those things. So with that being said, though, once you start getting into negotiations, and a lot of people, even though we're a few years post-COVID, depending on their clientele and where they serve and all that stuff, you know, they've may still not truly had a ton of negotiating experience.
Yeah.
And negotiating is hard. So,
It's my favorite.
Yeah. Especially if you don't truly understand what you're doing. So you've done classes on the psychology of negotiations, talked about all that, and that's really what it is, right? There's, you know, I rely heavily on DISC personality assessments.
Yeah.
You know, research has shown that DISC has been one of the more accurate, you know, no number 100% accuracy. They all have fallacies in them. But DISC, you know, if you do it honestly, right, it tends to be more accurate than the others. But all it does is really tells you who you are, your personality type, but it also allows you to understand the people you're interacting with, right, and how to engage in them. And that leads into understanding negotiations and who you're talking to, because if you are someone, and you know, we see this a lot, if you're a type A or a D in DISC, but type A personality, and you're talking to a type A personality, that usually doesn't go well, right? Because no one wants to concede, right? But if you're a type A personality and you understand that you have to, you know, there's some give and take and how to placate to the other person, then you can get a lot further in negotiations, right?
Sure.
So what's your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I mean, this was one of my favorite classes that I taught and to continue to teach, because I think it is important. I think a lot of times people, one of my least favorite sayings is it's just business. I think that's such a dumb thing to say, because in my head, business is people. And if you don't understand people and how they think and how they work, then you're really going to struggle. And ultimately, I think it comes down to the emotional intelligence and how to change your approach to kind of tailor the people that you're working with. And, you know, I actually was talking to a coworker yesterday, and he was saying how he has a transaction right now with an agent who I know, and she's tough, not in a good way. Like she comes out like guns blazing when you don't have to. And he's like, man, if she would just be nice, like we could figure this out. But like, you're being a jerk, and I don't want to work with you, and my clients don't want to work with you. And, you know, I think I see a lot of that in real estate is people don't know how to negotiate. They don't know the psychology of it. And so they're just mean. Like they're just aggressive.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. That's a really bad strategy.
That's the whole, I've often said that if someone calls you and they're yelling at you, it's because they don't have a defense, right? They're wrong, right? We've had to where someone, especially on the list side, seller side, you know, my story is I did an inspection, and the contractor, agent, owner was the same person, right? All the way across the board, right? And it was a bad flip. It was a really bad flip. And the agent, contractor, owner called the buyer's agent screaming at them, literally screaming at them. Grown man screaming at a woman realtor, talking about that the whole report's wrong, don't know where you found this person at. Didn't offer one bit of defense, didn't offer one bit of evidence proving why you can't cut joist in half or anything like that. Nothing, just yelled and provided no substance. Never called me because they're not. But that's what I told the agent. I was like, you know, I mean, and the agent knew. I'm like, they're calling, yelling at you because they know that everything in that report's right. But they just can't, because they can't defend it. So they're just trying to use scare tactics to get you to doubt it, you know, is all it was. So I think a lot of people's natural defenses or natural posturing when it comes to that is just, I don't know, I'm uncomfortable. Because negotiation is confrontation, right? I mean, that's what it is. Like you're confronting somebody trying to get something in the best interest of your client. They're trying to get the best interest of their client. And it's not always agreeable, you know? So that's when the confrontation becomes.
Yeah.
So they try to beat you to the punch.
Yeah.
Because that's just the natural posturing for some people is just be loud and be aggressive. Or they saw some YouTube video, somebody giving that really bad advice. But ultimately it just puts everybody on edge right out the gate. So it makes it really hard right out the gate. And that's just not the way to approach it. No. As I say, and I may have stolen this from a classic movie that Courtney's never seen called Roadhouse.
I've seen the new one.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Oh, man.
Yeah, not even close to the same.
Dang it.
But he says, be nice. You know, Patrick Swayze says, be nice. And he says, until it's time not to be nice. And that's usually where I'm at, right? Be nice until it's time not to be nice. Yeah. All the way around. So yeah, there's a lot of people that just come out the gate automatically on the defensive, whether they want to admit to it or not, but you can just tell by the tone of the voice, the inflection, the yelling, what they're saying.
Especially when it's not going their way.
Yes.
Like I had a client that called and was just yelling at me and then just like letting them get their frustrations out. And then me going, man, like that sucks. And she's like, it's not your fault. I know you're just an office worker, but blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it was the roof.
Yeah.
And I was like, just sitting there letting them yell at me. And by like the end of the phone call, I was like, yeah, they were like, we did our job. Yeah. This is past us at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that right there is part of what I teach is, number one, silence is your best friend in a negotiation. If somebody's heated, stay silent. Let them get all their words out. Let them freak out. Let them crash out, because they're going to have that moment where they realize, like, I've been yelling at the wrong person. Like,
and apologize.
Yes. So stay silent. Don't try to cut them off. Let them have their moment. And then there is the emotional intelligence part where you're validating that they're frustrated. You're naming the emotions, which I think is
you're
something.
You're like, man, I get it. You're in a rough spot.
And that right there is the thing that turns it a lot of the time. But if somebody is freaking out and you try to cut them off or you get defensive, you're backpedaling at that point.
Yeah, and that's just conflict resolution 101. You know, I've done role-playing scenarios in managing that, and that's what it is. You have in that case, it was, you know, employee coming to you, you know, you sit in silence, you listen to them, you repeat back to them what they've said. That way they know that you're listening, active listening. You validate their concerns. And then, you know, then you go into, you know, offering a solution or whatever the case may be. Yep. That's the emotional intelligence thing is a key. A lot of people don't understand it. Or they, you know, older generations, no offense, but they don't like it, right? Because it's emotions and, you know, weak, you know, hashtag woke. But
that's what my aunt says about this generation.
That's
you
right.
guys are weak.
You're weak. Or educated, but whatever.
Hey, you're a millennial. What are you talking about? You're literally a generation above me, and you're going to call me weak?
That's right.
Okay.
That's because we were called weak for years.
We still are. Everybody hates us no matter. I don't know what we did, but we're somehow like lazy and unmotivated and weak.
It all goes to you guys. Like, everybody forgets about the next generation because it's all hate on y'all.
Literally. I don't know what we did,
understand that there's like subsets of generations within generations. So like, I'm not the man bun, skinny jean millennial, right? That's not me. I barely miss Gen X. Okay, barely. You know.
There were like TikToks of people asking my generation, the Gen Z, but the younger Gen Z, what year does somebody have to be born for them to be considered old? And they were saying like 2003, you're old if you're born then. And I was like, what?
Oh man, I mean, as my daughter says.
But I remember thinking that. I remember thinking people in their 30s were old. Yeah.
And
now I'm like,
we're the same generation, and you're gonna call me old? I'm like,
get used to that.
5 years older than you. Relax.
Yeah. Wait till they call you boomer.
Oh God, I'm already called a millennial, and I'm like, no. I'm below that.
You wish.
He's like, please don't let me in with them. Everyone hates them.
Exactly.
I'm in the cool millennial club.
There's one of those?
Yeah, my age.
Okay. All right. Sure. This is why you guys got a bad rep.
Yeah, but But as soon as all the old people finally retire, we're going to be running the world here soon. So
Are we?
When are they gonna retire?
Yeah, I'm a little scared that the boomers are never going away.
I don't think that's a thing. They're keeping their houses. They're not downgrading.
They're not dying either.
Not dying. Like, we're stuck. We ain't got nothing.
When we stop electing 80-year-olds positions of power.
Seriously.
There was, it was a podcast episode with, I can't remember her name. She's a comedian actress, and she's talking about the generation and like the money of where, like the millennials is like, where is the money?
Yeah.
And Gen Z is like, what money?
Yeah, you guys aren't even.
What money?
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate about you guys, though. You don't give a crap. Like, we're all like, okay, we need retire. Like, what do we do? Like, I need a retirement.
Where is the money? Where do I?
And
where
you
is
guys
it?
are just living off of vibes. You're like, whatever.
We're like, working 4 jobs, just paying rent.
You don't worry about it at all.
You know, this is taking a hard detour,
yes, sorry.
But it's relevant in terms of you have to understand who you're talking to. Generationally, right? Because there's different ways to talk to people depending on where they're from, right?
100%.
But this all comes down to when my grandfather worked, right? They were, for the most part, very loyal to their companies.
Yes.
Because their companies provided pensions and retirements and lifetime hospitalization, as they called it.
It made sense to be loyal.
Yeah. And as my generation, as it came along, probably started with Gen X a little bit. But mine was like the tail end to where for a long time I had the same thought because that's what I saw growing up. And then I started seeing, well, wait a minute, they're not loyal to us.
No.
They don't care that I'm having home problems because I'm here working for them, or I'm volunteering to pick up the extra shifts because no one else is. And then it started like, you know what? Why am I worried so much about, because that's all the talk was, working in public safety. Was up, you got your benefits, it's a good benefits package, and you get to retire at this age. So that's what's ingrained in you. And again, going back for what I saw growing up, that was the norm. Like, so now I saw the shift in me where it's like, you know what, that's not that important, right? Because you keep taking, cutting. Like, what am I working for? There's guys, you looked around and there's literally guys who, when they figured out their retirement pay versus what they were getting paid to stay because the tax brackets are different, they were literally making 25 cents a day to be there. But they couldn't afford the health insurance if they left because it shot up. So then it's like, then what's the point of working towards a retirement if you can't? So then for me, it was like, screw it. I'll just die in a crawl space. So then that trickles down to your generation to where that's just not even a thought anymore because it's a very mobile, different generation to where I whatever. I worry about that less tomorrow's problem. Now it's, there's so much I can see and do, especially because now you go into I'm not having kids till I'm later in life. I'm not getting married till later in life.
Everything's been like pushed back.
Yeah. To where it's like, man, I'm not moving out of this area because I've established myself in this area. I don't want to start over. To where the next generation is like, screw it. I'll see what it's like living in California for a year.
We're always on the hunt for a job. We'll start a new job and still be looking for other ones. But there's like a whole graft.
Weird.
Hey,
maybe not the thing to tell your boss.
I will say I'm not. My mom is for me though. Every time there's a new offer, she's like, Courtney, why don't you check this out? And I'm like, I'm good.
That's fine. I'll go ahead and post that. That advertisement's it's in a queue.
But it's like it's a whole thing where like there are graphs showing the loyalty pay and how it just like stays at the same level.
It hurts
where
you to be loyal.
Where you have the ones that do the job hunting and the job jumping place to place, and it just like it's a growing income.
We used to joke all the time.
We
used to joke all the time that in order to get a pay raise, we had to quit and get rehired as a rookie because they were making just as much, if not more, than people who've been there for 15 years.
Oh, my mom! There's been like tons of drama at my mom's job right now, and it's with
may or may not work for a state agency.
Yeah, so she's like in charge of payroll, so she sees what everybody's getting paid, and she is the only person on her team that actually knows what to do, where everybody else on her team who gets paid more than her comes to her for all questions of basic stuff that they should know how to do in the positions that they are in.
Yep.
So
And
my mom is not a happy camper right now.
And that goes back to conflict resolution, because the people in charge they don't want to address that, because those are the hard conversations.
And they don't have to.
And they don't have to.
She hasn't forced him to.
Exactly. No. So poll question now: should I fire Courtney, or should I wait till she finds another job?
She probably already has another job.
I work 4 of them as is. I just keep this one and add to it. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, do you remember that when we were younger? Like, I used to work all the time.
Yeah.
I worked multiple jobs all the time. I loved it. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
Fire department, because we'd work shift, and then I go work at the hospital, and then I go do something else.
I'm
And then
like,
it's
oh gosh, now if I have like more than 4 appointments in a day, I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I get to the point where like the summertime, like so from Halloween to Christmas, I'm working at least 2 jobs. Halloween, it's like 3. But after that, the like February, March area, I'm like, oh, this is a nice break. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this. But then like by summertime, I'm like, well, what do I do?
She's bored.
Yeah, I get bored.
Give her more works then. Come on. Are you listening to this?
Once you get a certain age, though, you appreciate the boredom.
Yeah, it's like on the weekends, because that's when my other jobs is the weekends. So if I don't have plans on the weekends, I start like stressing out. Yeah. I'm like, I got to do something. I can't be at home.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
Even
get it.
Jordan, just like the last 2 weeks, she's 10. Oh, she'll be 11 next month. But she's like, I just love my bed so much.
Yeah,
like,
girl.
I don't want to get out of it.
She and I have that in common.
Yeah. So, but anyways, but like I said, all that ties back to, like I said, when we start talking about generations, that's another factor you have to understand, right? I've often said that our target audience demographic for finding agents to refer us isn't the older generation. No. And it's nothing again. We have some older agents that use us, they love us, they refer us, they do all the things, but a lot of them are used to how it was back in the 90s, right? And they don't like
pen and paper,
checklist, press hard 3 copies. No photos. Is the house falling down or is it not falling down? I don't know how many times I've heard from an older agent who's been doing it for 25, 30 years, just a long time, that like they don't like the 70-page inspection reports. They don't like how we write up everything that we find that's not working right. They remember back in the day when it used to be this, and that's fine, right?
That's not how it is anymore, though.
It's not. But when you're talking about negotiating, I mean, how many clients have you had where, or, other side of the table, where it's, I don't have email, right? I don't have a smartphone. But that's just another way that you have to learn to negotiate with other people, or get what you want, because they're not even understanding what the process is, because the last time they bought or sold a house was 1953, right? Yeah. So that all factors into how you negotiate, meaning that you can't approach every negotiation the same way.
No, not at all. And I do think, in at least my position, there's two parties that I'm negotiating with, right? Like, it's actually a negotiation with my clients and figuring out where they're at and what they ultimately want and all of that, and what they want out of me. And then there's the negotiating with the other side. And so I think it's exactly that. It's trying to figure out, it's the building rapport. Tell me, like, if you're silent, people will tell you who they are.
Yeah.
If you just wait, they will tell you who they are, what they care about, and then you can go from there. But a lot of times people like to hear themselves talk. Yeah. And so we cut in and we interrupt, or, you get a little overeager. And I tend to like to take the opposite approach
And
and
sometimes
just
you let 'em-
chit chat with you
Yeah.
because you tell me everything that I need to
Exactly.
know.
Sometimes they tell you too much.
Oh, 100.
Yeah.
No, they will. Like if
Yeah.
you build enough rapport with somebody and if you stay silent, people are very uncomfortable with silence. So they will fill the silence.
Yeah.
And so they will keep going and they will tell you what you need to know.
I've heard agents say that the agent on the other side, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but
every
and then
time.
it's
I love
they
that.
have to sell the house, they have to get out, they've already got another contract, blah blah blah, or they're moving across country or whatever, and there's 0 offers on
I
the
love
table.
when they tell me they're building.
Okay, that's cool. So now we can lowball it, right? Because you have to sell it,
Yeah.
right? And we can ask for all the things or whatever. So
So,
yeah.
And this is one of my favorite parts of negotiation. I think when it comes to any negotiation, your preparation is actually the key. And what I mean by that is in my line of work, I know when negotiations are going to happen. If somebody just had a home inspection and then the agent is calling me, I already know we're about to enter a home, like we're about to have a negotiation
Yeah.
or the initial call about the negotiation that's going to be started. And so I will always make sure that I will not answer that call unless I'm somewhere that I can be completely focused on what it is that you're saying. So there can't be distractions. My kids can't be around. I can't be in the office with my door open. I can't be walking around through the Target. Like it has to be something where I can actually hone in on that conversation and listen to your inflection, listen to what you're saying, give it enough time. Like I want to hear every bit of what you're saying to me in that conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And there's times where, I've seen where the agent comes back and you can just tell, talk about inflection, you can just tell by the tone of their voice, how they're saying things. Like they know they screwed up somewhere, right? And they're looking for you to help them out so they don't have to go back to their client and say they screwed up. Let's say I've seen to where, they missed the inspection deadline.
Or they know they're asking for too much.
Yes.
You can hear it in their voice
Yes.
when they're not confident in it or when they know.
Yeah.
And
or there was an issue at the final walkthrough that was also in the inspection report.
yep.
And they're asking for something to be repaired. And it's like, well, did you do what the report said? And the answer is like, no.
I feel like it's also like knowing who you're talking to as well. So it's having a conversation before that important conversation to know what their normal inflections are and whatever that is.
So that's where I love the build rapport part. And that always is happening when they're going to show the house. And that's why I like when agents call me initially, if I have the list side, to tell me that they want to submit an offer, because that's when I'm going to be real chummy with you. Like we're going to be the best of friends. And
hey girly.
yeah, I'm going to know so much about you. I'm just going to let you talk. We're just going to shoot the shit. Like, and then I do know kind of what your baseline is when you're happy and excited or whatever. And then later on, I know all the the small influx that's there.
Even though you're not technically in negotiations at that point in
No,
time,
but
it's the whole
it's the
thing.
preparation.
It is.
And I think on your end, like our end, we don't really negotiate, right? But all this does factor into how we talk and communicate to agents and clients based on personalities and all those things. So we don't negotiate per se, but we still, like I said, interact with them to the same degree as far as
making clients cry,
Yeah.
Making
But-
agents cry.
And when we're such a volume based, like I don't have time to, like there's agents that I know because they've worked with me forever. There's agents that all of our inspectors know because they work with them a lot. But, if you work with 300, 400, 500 agents in a year, like I don't have the capacity to know all those agents, look them up, research them, all that. But on your end, because you're not dealing with 200 agents a year, if you do, again, easy math, 20 deals, that's 20 agents. You can find out everything you want to know about each agent you're dealing with. That you're truly not you got 30 offers. But the one that you choose, right?
Yeah.
Because you can go on MLS, see how many
I
deals they've done.
love to look them up.
When was it? How many sales? How many buys? How many?
I look them up
all
on
their
social
social
media.
medias.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many houses have they listed that went over asking, under asking?
You know what's my favorite to do as well is look up the clients. So like my current house.
Yeah.
It was a custom build. They lived there for 18 months and they put it up for sale 9 months in. And I was like, that can't be good. So I went to their social media. If I was their agent, I would rage, but they posted that they were separated, like their relationship status said separated on their Facebook. And I was like, you idiots.
Yeah.
Like, no, you just told me everything that I need to know.
Yeah,
Like, I know what
'cause
you
you
built
need it.
this house for. I know the builder. I know what upgrades you have. Now I know that you're getting divorced. You need this to go through. You've price reduced a ton. Like, dum-dums.
Yeah.
But it helps you. It's the preparation.
You know, like I said, their relationship status, their job status, their political leanings, you know,
Yep.
do they
Everything
think
is out
Epstein
there.
killed himself or not?
Oh God. Bringing it back.
Yeah, full circle.
All the things, and all that is key in how you approach somebody. Even just knowing, and you know, don't want to talk about politics because it doesn't matter what you say. You know, the other side just yells at you. But you know, that's a factor. Like, it's in today's current climate. You know, oh, I see you post all the things about this person, right?
Yep.
So I know what I'm not bringing up. You know, or whatever. You know,
What jokes
so,
you can and can't
yeah.
make.
So
you know?
that's important, you know, because it sets the tone.
And it's mirroring too.
It is.
That's another tactic that I love to use.
So,
is
yeah.
where you're mirroring their energy in the way that they speak.
Yeah. So
Oh, absolutely. I love doing
Like
that.
if I get an agent who's like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so good. How are you?" Like immediately.
Yes.
Whereas like
Yes.
if
But
it's
what's
an
in
old
your
lady
head? What do you
agent,
think
I'm like
it-
super straightforward, like no BS.
but when you get that phone call, what's the voice in your head saying?
Oh, I don't talk like that at all in real life, obviously. But no, I'll turn that on real quick. We'll be the best of friends, girl.
Absolutely.
Let's
It's
go,
like
girly pop.
automatic. It's automatic. If you call
Yeah.
me girl, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's up? How's
Yeah.
it going?
Notice how she
it's
goes up.
Immediately. I mean, that's like customer service to begin with. Is the voice automatically goes up?
Yep,
It's
you're
like the,
mirroring their
hello.
energy. Yeah.
Yep.
Right? You're being like super friendly, and friendly is a higher pitch voice, technically, like normally.
Yeah. Yeah, you always gotta, like I said, the more information, the more. I mean, and every company's doing it now. Like you look at companies that are hiring, you know, promotion processes. They're all doing deep dives. They want to know everything.
Oh my God,
about
Love
you.
Island, the whole drama with that, where the
You're talking to two millennials.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have no idea
what you're
so
talking about.
Love Island is a show.
Are you talking about
but-
Epstein's Island? Is that what
Oh
it's called?
God, what is with
What
you
is your
today?
obsession with Epstein?
him?
Are
Is
you
this
on the
like
list,
did you just
Sidney?
discover him? And this
No.
is like something that
Y'all really haven't paid attention to the news the last 2 weeks.
Sydney, I've
no,
never paid attention to the news in my
absolutely
whole
not.
life.
I don't even know what channel the news is on. Okay,
Literally.
like
Oh, I forgot. You're not on Facebook. So there's that.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely
Facebook is
not. Are
very
you
cringe.
kidding me?
Yes, it is.
Anyway, so this is the news that I am up to date on.
Yeah, Love
so
Island. Great.
Love Island, they ended up having to kick one of the people off because of the stuff that they had been posting on social media way back in the past. And they didn't do a proper deep dive on that person. So when they were on the show, people found that and were like, yo, you're like letting this person on your show. And they ended up having to like take them out of the show.
I
Yeah.
hate cancel culture. What are we doing?
I do too.
That's
yeah.
a topic
Yeah,
for
you
another
tweeted
day.
one thing back in 2011
Right.
and
You were 19 and
Yeah.
an idiot.
Yeah,
and we
right.
hate
Like
you.
everybody. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I mean that's what
Interesting.
people are doing though. I mean they're doing these deep dives into all the things that's out there because everybody's putting every thought that pops in their head.
You
on
gotta
social
watch
media.
yourself on social media. You
Yeah.
got to. Like, I will never post any of my opinions on social
No,
media.
I don't.
Never.
I know me and Jeff talk about it all the time because we see there's a couple
they do it all the time.
people out there.
It's
that
literally
they're
against
all
our
in.
standard code of ethics, and yet
Yeah.
I see them do it all the time, and I'm like, I don't. Okay.
Yeah. And if
sure.
nothing else, from just a business perspective,
Right, it's a
You
very
know,
bad look.
like,
Yeah.
You know, you say you don't like a certain person because of who they voted for. Well, then why would I want to work with you? You know, because whatever. But I mean, there's a whole thing to that. So,
Yeah.
but it just goes to show you that how many people are again doing these deep dives to know all the things they want to know, and they're going to use that against you,
Yep.
or use that as leverage to help the negotiation process.
Yep.
So going into the negotiations, you really got to figure out, again, who you're talking to, meet them at their level. Like I said, two alpha personalities isn't going to work out very well. Like somebody has to concede because it's going to turn very ugly, very messy, very quickly. You know, or if you get those two people who's just indecisive, right? Neither one of them can make a decision, or they want to be too nice. The too nice thing is what kills me, right? Because agents are always like, oh well, and like you're you know, I feel bad for them because they're getting a divorce or whatever. So, you know, let's not ask for this, or let's go ahead and just take that. And it's just like, but you're negotiating against your client.
I also think the key thing that agents have to remember, and we go over this in the class, is that this is not your negotiation.
Yeah.
This is not your decision.
Yeah.
This is your client's. Your job is to educate and empower them, let them make a decision with all of the options presented to them, and then you execute what they want. But you have to take yourself out of this. And I think agents really struggle.
Emotions out.
They do. They struggle to take their own. I did this too at the beginning of my career. It took me a long time to realize the foundation would be crumbling and I would be panicking. I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's $9,000. Like, who has $9,000 to spend on a foundation? I don't. And I would get like, oh crap, what am I going to do? And I had to finally realize, like, this is not your dang house, Mandy. Their house is falling down. Let them know. See what they want to do about it. This is not your problem. Yes. Take a step back. Breathe.
Yeah.
Put some space in there. And also, my favorite one, I will never be the one to put on a number first. Never. I will always back somebody into a corner because I want to see where we're starting. And I want to see if you're out of your mind.
I mean, we had somebody, it's the one and only time, probably not the only time, but then I broke something, right?
Oh,
and it was
the door.
No.
The one and only time. There's
the one
like
only
six
time.
examples.
There's like 6 of them, but this one time. No, it was personal property. It was a little Last Supper figurine on top of the oven.
You broke a Jesus?
I think it was Judas.
That's fine.
I mean,
valid. You're welcome.
I mean, yeah. But the top of the stove was rounded, right?
Yeah.
And they had it setting there. So when I went to go turn the stove on, it fell off and it popped Judas's head off.
That feels
and
like
I said,
karma.
told the agent, you know, like, hey, sorry, I had already done research. There's a place in Richmond I can take it to. They'll make it look brand new. Look at all the work they do. This is what they do. You know, they match everything up.
Just put some gum on it.
Right.
Called it a day.
Do you like the Chinese technique where you put the gold?
Oh, there you go. No, I think that's
Is it Japanese?
I think so.
Oh, here we go. Now we're getting canceled.
Anyway.
Now we're getting canceled.
Great.
no, that's a thing. It's really beautiful.
Now I gotta
actually.
look it up,
Yeah,
y'all.
now we're mixing up. We're mixing up where it came from is the problem.
sure.
So,
No, it was in Ted Lasso. I just watched that episode.
Ted Lasso. So, but anyways, you know, the list agent called me, and I knew this was going to happen. You know, of course, it was like the family heirloom they found on the streets of Israel themselves, not just at the dollar store. You know, because that's how it always is when you break something, right?
$2,500.
But the list agent just kept going around and around in circles. I'm like, hey, screwed up, willing to pick it up, willing to get it fixed, willing to drop it back off. You let me know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And she just kept talking, well, you know, it's very sentimental and this, that, and the other. And they're really upset. Like, okay, like I can't take back what happened.
Right.
Right.
Judas's head fell off. Moving on.
So finally, the other agent, the buyer's agent, stepped in. She's like, what do they want?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. And she was like, well, we're done because there's nothing else to talk about.
Right.
You know, like he admitted that he messed up. He's willing to fix it.
Yeah.
You're not giving us any solutions. So what are we talking about? You know, so you don't, and then
It's Japanese.
I was right.
You were right. You were right. My
I
bad.
got like a gold star for today.
And never heard back. So it was like, just tell me what you want. Like, I'll fix it. You know, but like you came at us and we spent 20 minutes just talking in circles and you didn't have a single solution.
No.
So, yeah. So when you're going into negotiations, you know, because that part is the negotiating part for us is when something does happen. Now we got to negotiate how to make this right. But like I said, when and I do the same thing. What do you want?
Yeah.
What's going to make you happy? Right? How do we settle this?
Right.
You know, I already have a number, you know, in my head of what I'm willing to go to make this right.
Yeah.
And then we go from there.
Yeah.
But I need you to say something first.
Yes.
So.
If you can, always put them in a position to whoever puts out the first number is usually the one who loses.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was here, I don't know, well, I'm happy to refund you, you know, per the contract. Oh, that would be great.
And I think that's the other part as well, right? Is this is why I spend so much time studying and understanding the contract and the documents is because it's part of the preparation too.
Yeah.
I know that document better than most. I know if you took 10 agents and put us in a lineup, I would probably know more than they would when it comes to the contract.
Oh, for sure.
And that is part of it. Like I have to know that like the back of my hand because that's what makes me better in negotiations with people.
And that's when you can tell who truly knows their job, right?
Yeah.
Is when, and again, it goes back to the beginning where I said that when people just start yelling because they don't
Yep.
have a leg to stand on, like they know that they're not right.
Yeah.
It's because they don't know. They don't know the rules, right?
Yep.
You don't know the rules of the game you're playing. And that's happened so much. So the more you're secure in your knowledge, the better off you're going to be in the negotiations.
Yep.
Because you can't negotiate somebody if they know more than you about your own job.
100%.
Right?
Which
So-
is the position that I do get a lot of people ticked off at me.
Yeah.
Because there is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. Like
Yeah,
I always joke that like I want to know the rules so I know how to break them. Like
Oh, 100%.
you know, I want to know exactly what the rules of the game are and what I can get away with and what I can't.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've had that conversation with a lot of people where they come at me, you know, usually the more heated ones, clients, they don't know. So once we educate them, they're fine. Like, yeah. I get it. But when we get into disagreements with agents, you know, my stance is I know my laws better than you know my laws, right? And the law says this, and it usually shuts them down,
Yep.
right? So you really need to know, again, you're entering a negotiation from a position of power, right? Or leverage. And if you don't know what the contract says, you're already behind, right? You know, the biggest example is probably what's an actual defect, right? You know, so when you submit that repair request and it all gets denied because an agent knows what a defect is per the real estate contract, not what we think,
Right.
but what the contract defines as a defect, you know, then that's, if you don't know that, then you're going to lose, right? And now you got to go back to your client like, yeah, they denied everything because they're not willing to fix anything.
Yeah. Or my favorite is when agents ask us to do more inspections or like further investigation. And I'm like, can't do that.
Yeah.
It says in bold letters, paragraph 16, can't do that.
I did a reinspection one time. We didn't do the original. And I came back for the reinspection and the plumbing company was there and they were doing some work. And one of the things was they were installing a water line to the refrigerator and they were super mad about it because it's an old house, but at the end of the day, and like they were really salty towards me, right? I guess they thought I did the original inspection and made a big deal about it. But, you know, part of that is, one, why did you install a refrigerator that required water but not run a water line? You know, that wasn't a me problem. But two, like, even if the inspector wrote it up as a true defect, they're not the ones that negotiated and agreed upon it. I mean, you're mad at the wrong person, right? Just because we wrote it up, we're not the ones that negotiated the repairs. So, and then we're not the ones that didn't do the job at the end of the day.
Right.
So, but we do get that a lot from the list agent or the list side is that people get mad at us because of what was negotiated. Like, well, we didn't agree to that.
Your job is just to call it all out.
Yeah.
Then you guys have to figure out
Yeah,
where
you
you're going to
guys figure
settle
it out.
on it.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but it comes from that you don't know what the rules are, right?
Well, and I think people are afraid to say no.
They are. And what I get a lot of is clients don't want to rock the boat because they don't want the deal to fall apart.
Yeah.
I get that a lot too. And
Yeah.
that's understandable.
I think that comes on the agent though, to prepare them and
Yeah.
to really have that come to Jesus moment with them of like, how hard do you want me to go? Because I think they'll bend or I think they won't.
Yeah.
But I think you as the agent has to instill a ton of confidence in your clients, in you.
Yeah.
Like, here are your options. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. The one we had recently, I'll say recently, it's been a few months now, was a flip home and the agent on the list side, it was their home and they were very emotionally invested and we found some things. And the buyer's agent already had the conversation with their clients. Like, what do you want to do if they refuse? And when she called, it was that whole scenario of, I don't know who you used, and I can't believe this inspection report. Like, this is crazy. There's nothing wrong with this house. And the buyer's agent just stopped him and said, look, these are requests. There's no bend on it. Sign the repair addendum, sign the release. We don't care which.
Yep.
Stop the whole thing right there. Right. Mm-hmm. These are the terms, because she knew from talking to her clients, these are the non-negotiables. Mm-hmm. They're willing to walk.
That is one of my favorite tactics to use, which I don't think people use, is I love when agents are threatening to terminate, because the termination and release in our world is unilateral, meaning you only need one signature on it, one party. And so in my head, don't ever threaten it. Just don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
And so she did exactly the right thing of, this is what we're asking for. If we have to go ahead and terminate, that's fine. My clients are prepared for that.
Yeah.
And leave it at that.
100%.
But
100%.
people are afraid to put their feet to the fire.
They are.
And they'll just talk in circles and they'll threaten it. And it's like, okay, if your folks want to terminate, that's fine. Just send it over.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
that's
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, real estate's just that weird space where a lot of people don't want to start over. A lot of people already have plans in motion, and whatnot. So it is nice when you get that client who's not obligated, right? They're like, yeah, no, we'll go all the way.
Well, and that's why I think you should prepare them also of like, hey, when you do that, 9 times out of 10, it actually works out. And honestly, in my 8 years of doing this job, there has been 3 or 4 actual termination and release that got issued. All of those scenarios turned out better for my folks.
Yeah.
And so, that's always my testament to them, is like, I know this feels like the end of the world if this dies off and we have to try again. I know that. Yeah. And I will do everything in my power to not make that happen if you don't want that to. But I've seen this happen multiple times where it ends up better. Yeah. So kind of keep the faith on that at least.
So at the end of the day, when you enter negotiations, one, know what you're negotiating.
Yeah. Step 1. Preparation is key. It is.
You got to make sure. I won't say you got to know more than the other person, but it helps, right? You at least need to be on the equal playing field, right? Like if you're going against a seasoned agent who really knows what they're doing, you need to make sure you know what you're doing.
I think you should make sure you know what you're doing no matter what.
No matter what, but especially
that should be your goal. You should know more.
But you got to understand who you're talking to. Right?
Yes.
You got to understand. You got to meet them on their plane, on their playing field, whatever you want to call it. Again, whether it's generational, whether it's whatever. You gotta understand where they're coming from, where they're at, and you got to meet them there, right? Yeah. Like I said, silence is golden.
I love silence.
Yeah. Let them give you all the information. Do your research to make sure you understand who you're talking to, because again, that goes back into who it is and how you're going to talk to them, right? If you're talking to somebody who's brand new, fresh out of college, that's going to require a different way of talking to them than if they're 65 and been doing this for 40 years, right? Yeah. And don't be emotional about it.
But I also think a big one for me is to keep the humanity in it.
Yeah, for sure.
To lead with kindness. I mean, my grandma always said you catch more flies with honey than shit. Yeah. And so I think when you're coming off aggressive and arrogant, you're closing that door. My job is to open that door and to find the cracks that will help us accomplish something. But I think, I think we've kind of lost. People don't know how to negotiate, so they don't know how to keep their wits about them. And I think that goes a long way in getting what you want.
100%. My grandmother said, see that tree out there? Go pick your switch.
I've gotten told that a couple times.
But did you have to do it?
No, I would run away.
Oh, yeah,
and then just I would disappear for a couple hours. So by the time I came back, my grandma would have forgotten what she was mad about.
Man, y'all had mean grandma. My grandma was teeny tiny and she smoked like a chimney. I loved her. And she cussed like a sailor.
My grandmother, we stopped by one time to visit and had both kids with us. And I threatened to beat them or something, because they wasn't listening. And my grandmother looked at me. She says, I don't think I've ever spanked you. I said, you see that tree right there outside the front door? Like that tree right there.
Beat me.
That tree right there is a tree that I had to go pick my own switches from. And she's like, well, I don't remember that. I was like, I do.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
I made a joke about that, and it did not land with any of the people in my generation.
No, that's because gentle parenting.
Yeah. I read an article. Well, I started to read an article the other day, and it had all these different terms for parenting, like elephant parenting. And
What's an elephant?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm like, I don't even know what we're talking about. Like, I'm just done. Why are we labeling everything? I'm just going to do what I've been doing. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of different types of animals, and they related to
just trying to keep you
like
guys alive and turn you into good
parenting.
people.
Like,
That's
what
it.
Yeah.
Like, just stay
I've heard
alive
of
and be
helicopter
good.
parenting, but then now we're getting into elephant parenting. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I'm done with
I
this
gotta
article.
Google that. All right.
So,
Well, like, goal is for you to move out and have your own life and have like do what you want to do that doesn't involve you being in jail. Like, that's all I want from my kids.
That's all I want. Yeah, stay out of jail, stay out of rehab. We're good.
Yeah. Stay out of jail, stay out of
really
rehab.
care what else you do.
Yeah.
You better come visit me when I'm old.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That's all I want.
That's it. Well, this was a fun episode.
It was.
I'm not asleep for once.
Good.
You're also getting fired, though.
Yeah.